get into. Julie, this is one of the benefits of working with a team, right? You got people you can consult with. I was chatting with an online intern the other day, and he made a really great point and was just like, experience without proper supervision isn't necessarily a good thing, because you could be doing, you know, bad programming. You could be hurting clients. You could be saying the wrong words, offending people, whatever it may be. If you don't have that mentorship, then you could be getting shitty experience. So it's really one of the benefits of being involved in this program is you guys have full access to the instructors in San Diego, Max and I. Here we have in LA, we have Brock, Jared, and I, and then we have Tom and Jimmy in Santa Monica. You guys can always shoot us questions on programming, or what do you think about this workout? I've never worked with with pregnancy before. And so for the most part, guys aren't going to deal much with pregnancy. It's just a matter of the fact, one time I had a client, I was training her, and she was trying to get pregnant. She got pregnant. I even told her, you know, I'm just going to look out for your best interest, and I'm going to have you train with our, this is when I was at a corporate gym, one of the girls who works with pregnancy, because you're just going to be able to relate a lot more. And I can still train you, but I'm looking out for your best interest. So guys, I don't think that you're going to come across many, maybe a wife, girlfriend, something like that, but typically it's going to be girls getting involved with pregnancy. Now, what are some questions you guys have before we get into this about training someone who's pregnant? Maybe some misconceptions. What can we do? What can't we do? Anything?
I think the biggest misconception is that you can't lift when you're pregnant.
Yeah, that's a big one. Definitely. And I would almost put it in the same category as kids and lifting weights. They think that it's going to stunt your growth. It's just a big misconception. So first off, go ahead.
Upside down exercises too. They think that it's bad for the baby to be in upside down positions.
So can you give me an example?
Like anything where you have to be on your hands and knees.
Okay. Yeah. So, so we got different phases, trimesters. First off, I would not suggest getting a certification for pregnancy. And that's just because if you understand anatomy, you're going to be fine. You don't need to have a certification to work with someone who's pregnant. If you were to work at a clinic and they were to pay for you to get certified, fine. ISSA has it. ACE has one. I think NASM even has one. Otherwise, keep the $500. Do not do it. You can, here's a little trick that you guys can do. Pregnancy position stand exercise. Anytime you see the word position stand, a position stand is a group of physicians, whether if it's PhDs or actual medical physicians, who look at all of the data and then present a non-biased approach. So let's see what comes up with pregnancy position stands. So you have position statement, exercise, pregnancy. This is probably a pretty good one right here. It's going to tell you with postpartum everything that's going to happen with working out. I like ACSM. Anytime you see ACSM, they work very closely with the medical industry. And so this would be a legit one to look at, a simple guide. Click on this, RD, registered dietitian, certified personal trainer. They just did a recent survey and they classify the ACSM as the most advanced certified personal training cert. I mean, it's all relative because there's still no practical aspects. So I would definitely say it's harder than like a NASM, but it's going to go into breaking down the guidelines, what you can and what you cannot do. Be careful of certain things. I'll put this in the link so you guys can have access to it. I would say the big things that you would want to be careful of when you program. So let's take a look at Julie. So her client owns a food truck. She works more, she stands a lot. 4 months in, had no complications during my first pregnancy. She's due in March, early March. I just go on short walks, nothing too crazy. She weighs 240 pounds. Goal is to gain more strength on my legs. I'm not on a diet, but being pregnant at times, I watch what I eat. So we're not going to talk anything about multivitamins, fish oil, any type of multivitamin. Nope, that's not in our capacity. We're not registered dietitians. We don't even talk about the nutrition part. You're eating for 20% more of a human being, so make sure that your doctor / RD is giving you the proper nutrition stuff. I love working with pregnancy. type 2 diabetics and thyroid problems because we don't do anything. I'm not going to give you any advice because that's not in my wheelhouse. We work with clients who are trying to lose weight, but when you have a unique situation like this, do not overstep your boundaries. So 240 pounds. Now, Julie, can you tell us a little bit more about her? Is she's shorter? Is she taller?
She's a little bit taller. She's I want to say around 5'6".
Okay. So would you, 240 pounds, that's not a small individual. So she's definitely on the obese end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are all things that she wants to be healthy. Give her that credit. So first off, I applaud the fact that she's trying to walk more, which is awesome. So continue to do that. I would try to get a step count that you can see so you can challenge her to get more. So how many days a week is she walking right now?
About 3.
Yeah. So I would try to find out how many steps she's getting. Do you know?
No.
Okay, I would do that. And then maybe try to get a 10 to 20% more. Now, when it comes to pregnancy, there are some things that we do not want to do. Due to blood pressure ramifications, they suggest not to foam roll. So we're not going to do any type of foam rolling. Due to holding your breath, it will actually lower your blood pressure. And if you hold your breath while you're squatting or doing anything, that can have an impact on blood supply to the baby. So do you think we're going to get down into the strength range?
Probably not.
No, we're going to stick to 10 plus reps, especially she's a beginner. So we're going to strengthen ligaments and tendons. So we're going to go over the patterns. There's going to be better choices for exercises. Do you think we're going to be doing jumps?
No.
Nope. I'm not going to suggest, you think these would be obvious exercises, right? But jumping, plyometrics, hanging, knee raises, mountain climbers, exercises that may contribute to a lot of bouncing or just perturbations, I'm not going to play around with. What would you think are some appropriate leg exercises when it comes to unilateral?
Step-ups.
Step-ups would be great. Yep. Yep. What else?
Back lunges?
Yeah. So whoever said that, I think that's right. I'm glad you brought that up because as a 240-pound obese individual who isn't conditioned, a lunge is pretty damn challenging. I'm not going to entertain any type of lunge at least for a week to see how she moves. And so I would start off with a step up. If you want to do some type of warm up, some twists across the body, some going over here, coming down internally, externally, have a band, do some rows, pull aparts, some pay lofts. Check out her squat depth. That's perfectly fine. See what she's capable of with the squat depth. That's perfectly all right. So again, from what we have here, Julie, do you think she's conditioned or deconditioned?
Deconditioned.
Deconditioned. So if we're doing a lot of cardio, that may have ramifications on the kit. So how many reps do you think we're going to do per leg on a step up?
8 to 12.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep it pretty low. I would actually even say even lower. Now, is this a program, are you going to design for her or are you going to be training her?
Training her.
Training her. So I'll start out super light and let her know. We just kind of want to see how you move. The first workout isn't going to change. It's very common to get lightheaded or dizzy, so make sure to eat before. So especially as you start taking a lot of your blood glucose, if you haven't eaten before. So have a banana, have some fruit, something that will give you enough fuel to get through the workout. We always have glucose tablets. My number one goal is to get through the workout with no problems. That's the number one thing we want to do. So we do 6 step-ups on the left side, 6 step-ups on the right side, and then go into a bar push-up. What's a bar push-up?
Like a wall step up on the bar.
Yeah. So it's just going to be a really regressed exercise. Could she do a push-up? Maybe. Just based off of her status right now, I'm not even entertaining it. I think she's just start with the basics and do some push-ups. And
Do you want
then,
me to put a picture of her close to the screen so you get an idea?
No, that's fine. Sure. Can't see you. You're on mute right now, so or
I know.
whatever.
I'll put it on right now. Okay, so
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be hard for her to, I mean, she do a full push-up, and right now it's just, we don't want to make her so discouraged with exercise that she doesn't want to do anymore. So I'll just do step up into a push-up, and that's it. That's going to be our first round. See how she does, because that's 2 multi-jointed exercises, and then we're talking between sets. And it's important to let her know, it's like, do you think it would be smart to try to get in the best shape of our lives when we're pregnant? No. So we're doing this strictly to strengthen your heart, get your mind into a good spot, but more importantly, this is going to set good expectations for your child when it comes to cardiorespiratory health and all that stuff. So the workout's going to be, we'll aim for 45 minutes. If we're kind of gassed at that point, then we'll stick to 30, 45. Let's just see if we can get through the whole thing. Let's get some walking in there, really focusing on the breathing. So we step up, really focus on breathing in, breathing out. When we do a bar push-up, breathe in, really focusing on really good breathing. And so then we're going to do a squat pattern next. What will be a good squat pattern to do?
Goblet squat.
Goblet squats are fine. Maybe you just hold a plate out in front of her, 5 or 10 pounds first. You can do a 10 here. It's just whatever you feel is comfortable. So goblet, 8 to 10 reps. It's not going to be heavy, super light. So even though I'm writing 8 to 10, it doesn't mean that we're going to fatigue on that 10. Depending on how well she does, I mean, she could actually be smoked from those step-ups in the bar push-up. You don't know. That's what you're going to have to learn from watching her. I take a lot of breaks and just communicate with her. If she's huffing and puffing, I'm going to talk to her more. So what are some names that we're going through? Is it a boy or girl? I'm just going to really make this whole experience really enjoyable for her. If she's crushing it and she can handle more, then maybe we'll go a little heavier. Maybe we'll do a little more repetition. So we have a push pattern up here with a unilateral. What do you think will be good to do next?
Pull.
Yeah, some type of pull. Eccentric pull-ups, you think that would be good? Even like Aussies might not be the best right now, so let's just do a single arm row. Again, 8 to 10. And then, so now we're going to do bridge. You know what Kegel exercises are?
No.
Kegel exercises are stopping your pee, which is healthy, what do they call them? Your pelvic floor muscles, pelvic floor. And that's what, as we go through pregnancy, there's a chance that afterwards there could be some problems with urinating. They'll even call it a leaky bladder. And so we want to strengthen those pelvic floor muscles. And so you can teach her while she's just doing some bridges, just to stop her. If she were to be peeing, you stop your pee. It's called your pubicoccal muscles. So it's like you suck in, suck out, suck in, stop your pee, stop in. You just go back and forth, and that's going to help with strengthening that. And then let's do like a half kneeling Pallof. So what's a half kneeling Pallof?
One leg, one foot on the ground and one knee on the ground.
Yeah, it's like a lunge position, right? And the reason I'm doing that is because we're doing a bridge. She's on the ground. She just needs to get into that half kneeling, and then she can put her hand out. We're going to work on anti-rotation. And then I'm just going to see how she's doing. How is she doing? That could actually take the whole workout right there. She wants to focus on legs. We have a unilateral. We have a goblet. We have a bridge. We have a push and a pull. We have some core stuff in there. Nothing crazy, right? Everything's appropriate. We're focusing on breathing. If she still has some more in the tank and she's not completely gassed, maybe we'll do some, you could do like some wall sits. You could do some bicep curls. You could do some band walks. You can do any isolating exercises that you want to make a little circuit at the end. Now, we don't need to treat people like they're super delicate, but the fact is that she is obese and she hasn't been exercising with weights regularly. She is walking, but I would keep the circuits to a minimal right now. So some questions that may be going through your mind, you'll notice that we don't have 2 core patterns for all of them. So we have a core pattern followed by a regressed core pattern, or in the case for the third one, a core exercise as in just abdominal. Again, it's going to be based off for conditioning. What on Wednesday at 1:30 Eastern time, 10:30 Pacific time, we have our grad program starting with Tony Gentilcore. He's one of the top names in the program. If you're not familiar with Tony Gentilcore, he's an overhead guru when it comes to working with athletes. It's going to be an awesome continuing ed class for 4 weeks. It'll be 4 classes. He does it for an hour. If you were to see him give one of his talks just in person, when he did it here, his ticket price was $6.99. It's only $200. You get them recorded, they'll get sent to you. We're going to have these every single month, and we're excited to partner with him. The reason I'm talking about him right now is because his wife, Lisa, is like fitness / psychologist. And I remember when she was pregnant with their son, maybe 1.5 years, 2 years ago, she was already conditioned. So if I were to be training someone like her versus this individual, obviously it's going to be a little different. We don't need to, I wouldn't do this workout, her name is Lisa, with her. This would be way too easy. I could do squats with her. I can do back squats and deadlifts, and I'm just not going to go to maximum. I'm just going to stay out of the strength range. So when we're lifting, we're going to really focus on the breathing in. Well, you can still get solid 45 minutes, 60-minute workouts. She wasn't my client, but I knew someone who ran a marathon in her 3rd trimester. The body's pretty freaking awesome, but it's just case by case. And as a great coach, we can look at an individual, screen them, see if there's any contraindications, if there's any problems. I actually really like working with pregnancy folk versus like overweight, obese, because compared to the average person, they're going to the doctor a bunch. And so they're getting their heart checked, they're getting their blood work done. They're in the hands of a medical professional a lot more consistently than some random person who's just trying to, get in good shape. So with that being said, I feel a lot more comfortable working with people who are pregnant. The main things I would just want to avoid, especially as we start getting a big belly, be sensitive with your vocabulary. Don't say big belly. But like doing a plank may not be appropriate. Doing like a bar shoulder tap would be better. Just going back here on the bar, kind of like that push-up position. If she's comfortable doing planks, that's up to her. But I would probably be a little careful. I prefer to do like more anti-rotations like this. Even like a suitcase walk, I would prefer. That'd be way better. Just holding like a 15, 20-pound dumbbell and walking back and forth. That's going to get some frontal plane stability in the core. You could put your hand on the wall. But for like if I was training Lisa, I would feel comfortable doing some planks in there. Hip thrusting, just be careful. You can still hip thrust, and Brett Contreras is a great. I can put this in here as well. Brett Contreras hip thrust pregnancy. Here's a good video from Brett on training while you're pregnant. How do I get out of this guy? There we go. That's a good one. Can you do a core exercise? Yeah, you can. I mean, you can do crunches. You can do stuff like it's all going to be based on the individual. If she's uncomfortable crunching her stomach like that, we got to ask, why are we doing it? The Kegel exercises are going to help strengthen her pelvic floor muscles. So that's something I would prefer. And you can let her know, it's like every time that you go pee now, try to stop every 5 seconds. Pee, stop, pee, stop. Strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. They're called your pubococcal muscles. And those are really important to strengthen. And so I would give those to her. I wouldn't necessarily want to train concentric, eccentric abs. If she wanted to, for whatever reason, we could, but I would just be mindful of it. What are some other questions that you guys have or anything along those lines when it comes to training someone who's pregnant?
What are some exercises that you think she could do on her hands and knees?
She could do bird dogs. Bird dogs would be great to progress up into regular ones. Again, I wouldn't, just because of her size, I wouldn't do push-ups on the ground for now, because we encourage the face plant. So just do that on the bar and get really, really good with those. Half kneeling band presses would be better than doing like a push-up. Landmine press would be good to do if you're spotting her. Rotating tees would be good shoulder exercises. You just have to ask, why would we want to do a hands and knee exercise? And I think that we can get creative on other exercises that would be just as fine for her in her specific situation.